Hi guys, well today we're going to do something different. We're going to talk about painting terrain. So you might have noticed if you follow me on Instagram, I've been building lots of terrain like this. This is piece number 9. So I thought I'd go through how to paint it, because it's quite a simple process. So first of all, build your terrain, spray it with that, standard Mechanicus grey, leave it to dry. Then get yourself some Agrax Earthshade. I tend to make my own out of just acrylic medium and artist inks because I use a lot of it. But if you're going to use Agrax Earthshade, probably a quarter of a pot would do a piece of terrain like this. You can pour it into a little cup. That's the way I like to do it, because then you don't run the risk of spilling your whole pot. Then get a really shit brush like this one. And basically guys, there's no finesse required, just absolutely clart it on like that. Just get it absolutely everywhere. Now, a lot of people probably would wonder why I'm bother shading this. I'm not really shading it. I'm just trying to darken down the paint, and also a bit of shading will be done with it, because this is it's all going to be broken up with other colours. And that's the point of painting large terrain, I find. It's just breaking up solid colours and you end up with a really nice effect. The other thing you can do is you can base coat this black and then paint it with a brush, Mechanicus grey, without trying to cover the whole thing, so that actually the undercoat ends up shading it for you, which is also not a bad technique. But I don't have that much time. I'm trying to get this done quickly and effectively so I can start filming battle reports for you guys. And this looks really good when it's got models beside it. So guys, I am going to finish doing this piece, then we'll come back and we'll start dry brushing it, which is super fast as well. So see you in 2 seconds. Okay guys, so that's it done. So you can see you get this kind of, it looks like a real mess basically, but I've just covered as much as I can. Try and make the inside of the buildings, because they're going to be underneath floor, so in shadow, a little bit darker. So basically that's what it looks like when it's done. Bit of a mess. So now just move that there out of the way, and in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I did yesterday. That's what it looks like when it's dry, so you can get a better idea. And basically what I'm going for is just a really dirty, dusty, polluted, smashed, kind of basically fucked look. I mean, don't forget, these things are supposed to be ruins. They're not supposed to be brand new or anything like that. And now guys, you're literally 3 colours away from being done. So we're going to start with a really heavy dry brush of, where are we now? Mechanicus Standard Grey, because that's what we based it in. Then we're going to dry brush it with Mortifying Brown, which might sound a bit unusual, but it's quite good. It does blend quite well. And if you don't have Mortifying Brown, like Bestial Brown, I think was the old name for it, just a dark brown basically. And then we're going to finish with Dawnstone. Very light, very light airbrush, no, dry brush of Dawnstone. So I'm going to get my palette, just slightly off camera guys, bear with me. So there's that one though, just making sure I've got the right colours. So I'll get some of this on the palette, my wet palette. Give it a good mix, always mix up your paints. You're probably not going to need that much for this. I think I was doing sort of 5 of them at once guys. And I probably used about, I don't know, not even, maybe 1/6 of a pot of paint. Remember to add water to this guys, just like any other time. So I'll just take my palette in, and this is watered down. So that's kind of what you're looking for, that consistency. I think it's actually a bit dry, so add a bit more water to that. Move that there. Right, now we'll move to the dry brush. So get the biggest dry brush you've got. So I'm just using a large Citadel dry brush. Move these out of the way till we need them. Absolutely load up your brush. Tons of paint like that. And as usual guys, get rid of most of it. So you're getting that kind of effect. And literally it is just heavy dry brush just everywhere. Don't know how well this will turn out on camera guys, but just go to town on it. You're really just looking to kind of get rid of some of that excess brown and don't make it look so dirty. But I mean really you just kind of do this until you're happy with the effect guys. And also don't forget, go in both directions, because if you go in one direction continually, like if I just went like this all over it, it would look like light is coming from one direction. And that's fine if you're always going to use this scenery in the same place or the same orientation on your boards, but you're probably like me and you're not. This stuff is being built to be modular for me. So then I do a bit coming from the other direction. Sometimes straight down could be quite nice. But literally, it's just that guys. So I'm going to get this to where I'm happy with it. And then I'll come back guys, okay? So I'll see you in a few seconds for the next colour guys. Bye! Okay guys, so that is the grey, dark grey, Panicus standard grey dry brush done. Now we're going to put some more fine brown on. So just do exactly what you did before. This time we're probably going to put a bit less on. Get your brush a bit cleaner. Now when you put this on guys, it will look quite metallic. Don't worry about that, that's not a bad thing. You kind of want to be a little bit more selective with this. So just start very lightly. And you'll see it going on and you'll start to be like, oh god, what am I doing? I'm totally ruining this. But you're not. Just be a bit more selective. Just patches of colour. And what this looks like when it's dry is it kind of looks more like grime. You know, if you in cities you see this kind of, especially industrial cities, you see this sort of grime that builds up on sandstone and things like this. It's almost like that. With this, I would say go in one direction, because otherwise you're going to overpower the model. You're going to put too much on, and it's just going to start looking like a bit of a brown smudge. Whereas this is just, again, about breaking up that grey, and already you can see it has broken up the grey quite a lot. I mean, if you want more in a certain place, add more. Go for it, guys. Like, it's up to you. It's your model. You can do what you like. For me, I think sometimes more is less is more. A bit more on the doors. I do like it on the doors. It looks quite good. See that eagle coming out a bit more. Get a little bit around the bottom. Like that. And I think for me that's enough. That is maybe a bit more there. I kind of missed that bit. Bit on the top. And for me, I think that's enough. That's enough brown, and I hope you can see the difference that makes. And it will dry a bit darker, guys, so it won't be as stark. So I'm going to finish the rest of the model, and then we'll come back and we'll do the final highlight that I'm going to be doing in this process. But you know, you can take it much further. You can add more detail if you want. All right, guys. So that's it with the brown on. You can see it's starting to dry. It's drying darker, and it has almost a kind of rusty sort of pollution. Just grime, and that's the look I'm going for with my scenery. I don't think scenery in 40k should be bright, unless it's Eldar or something like that, but generally with Space Marine armies and things, you're playing in ruins, so I think that looks quite good. So the final highlight for me is going to be Dawnstone, and this is going to be quite light, and I'm going to concentrate, as you'll see, on the upper edges of the model, and also the upper edges going down the model. So tend to work like that, just trying to catch some of these upper edges very light, just to get a bit of distinction between the floors, if nothing else. Don't destroy all the colour, like there if you've got a bit of brown, don't destroy that. Just lighten it up a little bit with a little tap here and there. And remember, this is scenery, guys, it's not a golden demon model. It just needs to fill out your board, add to the kind of cinematic of the game, if you like, you know, so you're not just fighting over bloody cardboard boxes and things. And once you put something like this, or a few pieces like this, onto a nice mat or a nice acrylic board, it really does make a difference. The only thing I would say, if you're painting scenery for an acrylic board, paint it the same way you've painted the board, or else it'll look really odd. So use the same base colours, etc., the same highlights, and you'll end up with a really nice effect, guys. So that's kind of the technique. Light, looking a bit every so often, have a look, see where you want the colour to go, because again, it's really easy, because these colours are all quite muted, it's really easy to just ruin it or overpower it, a certain section of the model, and it stands out. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's easily fixed, but you know, the whole point of this paint scheme for me is fast. Build them all, you know, build all the models one day, spray them one day, then the next day shade them all, then the next day just do this, and you know, you can knock out 10 pieces of terrain in a few days, guys. So I'll finish doing this highlight and then I'll come back to you and let you see the finished article. Bye. Okay guys, so that's it done. That's where I would personally, just putting my lid back on my paint, that's personally where I would leave it. I wouldn't take it any further. I think that looks great for what was effectively, for me, you know, 15 minutes of dry brushing. Very fast, very effective. I don't know if you get the full effect on camera. I'll spin it around so you can see the other side. So there's another side there, guys. Lift it up a wee bit for you. You can see the kind of grimy brown. And the Dawnstone's light enough just to lift it. I think anything lighter would be a bit stark and overpowering. And in the inside, you see what I mean when I was talking about leave it darker. So there's basically hardly any Dawnstone there, mainly catching the edges of this floor and a bit of more sort of stippling up here to give the effect of scuffs through the dirt and things that you can see down here, sort of scuffs through the grime. Very little in the way of Dawnstone down here, mainly catching these bottom edges and where it's supposed to have been shelled. And that's it, guys. So I hope you like this. I hope you can see that painting scenery in this what would seem very kind of quick and rough and ready way, you know, it does make a difference to your games. You'll enjoy them more. It looks good. It makes the table look more complete, and it's fast, guys. You don't have to spend ages. Like, it's not Golden Demon. If I was painting a diorama, yeah, sure, I would pick out all of these bits of metal. I'd pick out all the rivets. I'd pick out the iron bars on the doors, and then I would corrode them. But I mean, come on, who's got? You're talking 10, 15 hours of work there for one piece of terrain, whereas I've done 9 in maybe 4 hours. And there you go, that's your table sorted out. You can start playing and have really good games, and it'll look very cinematic. So guys, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you've got any questions, leave them in comments, questions about what else you could do with it, how much further you could take it. On a side note, before I go, one really quick thing you could do is get some typhus corrosion and go about 1 inch up the base of the model all the way around, just again to make it look that bit dirtier and grimier. I'm not going to bother doing that, and you will be seeing this terrain on my channel very soon. I think I should be filming battle reports by the end of the month, guys. So bye for now, happy wargaming, I'll see you later.